again. Welcome to episode 5 of Snyder's. That's me. Music Biz News. I'm old enough to remember when composing jingles was a career path. You could make a good living by creating jingles. And for you youngsters out there, a jingle was music and words usually attached to some kind of a product. A jingle jangle attracts attention to the product, some kind of a brand. And writing the perfect 5 to 30 second jingle, opus, if you will, was extremely difficult to squeeze all of that in such a short amount of time and to create a hook that would create a sound worm that would make people think of their particular product was a skill in itself. To create such simple but persuasive tunes is rife with challenges, and the skills and talents of the composers and performers who created classic advertising jingles cannot be understated. The first radio jingle was in 1926. Some of you eat Wheaties cereal in the morning. Well, Wheaties in 1926 was about to be pulled off of the shelves by General Mills because it wasn't selling. But then a local broadcaster had a quartet create a song called Have You Tried Wheaties? And sales took off locally. So General Mills noticed the increase in sales. They went national with broadcasting this song across the country, and that saved Wheaties because sales took off and everybody else took notice, and that was the beginning of the jingle industry, which became pretty big up until around 2016. The Atlantic reported that in the United States, once popular jingle was being replaced by advertisers with a mixture of older and recent pop music to make their commercials memorable. There were 153 jingles in a sample of around 1,300 national commercials by 2011. Jingles had dropped to 8 out of 306 commercials. So the industry pretty well plummeted beginning around 1996, and by 2011 was pretty well over. Not totally over. You've probably heard Barry Manilow's Like a Good Neighbor for State Farm, and Justin Timberlake's I'm Lovin' It for McDonald's. Even Steely Dan, our yacht rock gods, did a commercial for Schlitz beer, which you've probably never heard, but I have a link to it and the Wheaties song in the on my blog that's in the comments below. So if you want to listen to these songs, they're all linked there. You could make really good money writing jingles. If you wrote a jingle that was going to be a national campaign and you sang on it, which meant you got union fees and all that kind of stuff, you could make $50,000. And you could do 3 of those a year, which $150,000 was pretty good living for 3 jingles. But times are hard for jingle writers. If you're looking to go to school and say, I want to compose jingles, you might want to rethink that. And it's not just jingles. The entire advertising audio industry is seeing it be replaced by AI. It definitely has a potential to be disruptive, says Zeno Harris, a creative licensing manager for West One Music Group, an LA company that licenses 85,000 song catalog of original music to brands. If we could use it as a tool instead of replacing musicians, that's where I see it heading. But money dictates where the industry goes. So we'll have to wait and see. And the industry wants to save money, and if it can do it just by giving AI a prompt, this is the future. Red Lobster uses AI to write 30 songs about Cheddar Bay biscuits. 30 songs about biscuits with 90s hip-hop and jazz styles. So if you plan to be a jingle writer, you might want to rethink that career path. Many of you may not know that Facebook used to not be for everybody. in 2004, Zuckerberg made it available only to college students. You had to have a college email address in order to sign up with Facebook. I remember the first time we talked about it in class when students were educating me about Facebook and how it was only for students. And of course, being a professor, I had a college email address, so I signed up. Anyway, to the horror of the students, Facebook was opened up to the public in 2006, 2 years after it was made available to college students. Connyct is following the same strategy by limiting membership to college students exclusively. The app is targeting students for exclusive early access program. And how is it different from TikTok? It's applying a different philosophy. It wants to be a bridge between online social life and real world life. That can be difficult when your online community is literally anyone, anywhere. So Connyct is targeting a specific audience, post-secondary students in the United States. We're not just building another app, we're creating a space where your digital world finally reflects and enhances your real one. And it's built around a video-based events center designed for discovering and promoting local activities. It features group creation tools, and content creation services. Digital interactions enhance rather than replace face-to-face connections. And with TikTok facing a potential ban in the United States, it is being banned, phased out in Canada. TikTok is. So these guys are looking at a potential opening in the short video world. We're all about connection and discovery, meant to help users find people who share the same passions and want to publicize events to enjoy them with their friends. Our partnership with Warner Music Group takes this vision to the next level, allowing students to soundtrack their college experiences with an incredible array of music. That's right, Warner Music Group has partnered with Connyct. And it's interesting to see if this will become as big as TikTok, with the political winds blowing against TikTok because of its connections with China and all that kind of stuff. It'd be interesting to see if anybody actually makes a dent in it. But if you are a college student, I recommend getting in now while they're taking early admission, in a sense. At least you can be at the ground level if it does take off. And there will be a link in, again, my blog that's in the comments below where you can connect with that. But a word of warning, I still have my .edu email address, and I have already applied as if I'm a 19-year-old. So I will once again be the creepy old guy lurking around where only students think they are hanging out. So you've been warned. The Beatles have just got their first Grammy nomination since 1997. The song was Now and Then, and the categories that it was nominated for were Record of the Year and Best Rock Performance. AI is considered the fifth Beatle in this case. The song itself was written by John Lennon. He recorded onto a cassette of he sitting at a piano and singing it. It was just a demo to take to the other lads. And AI, artificial intelligence, was able to isolate his vocal and pull it away from the piano. So you have an isolated vocal track that then Paul and Ringo and others could overdub on and make a complete song out of with John Lennon singing as he did on the demo tape. Pretty fascinating technology. And it's a good song, but you have to wonder if it wasn't for this AI publicity, would it have risen to the level of being a Grammy-nominated song? Well, I don't know. But I'm sure it helped. Labels are brilliant at selling music over and over and over again. I think I have, for Let It Be, I think I've got the cassette. I actually have the 8-track. I have it on vinyl, like 4 different records, vinyl, on CD, on the deluxe set. In other words, people will buy the same music over and over and over again. So the most recent variation of this from the labels have been remixed by or redone in high def. Okay, but a lot of that's been done for a lot of the stuff from the 60s and 70s, and now are we about to see a wave of enhanced by AI releases so that we go out and buy Dark Side of the Moon again, only AI enhanced? That a lot of the music from the 60s and the 50s and 70s that was recorded especially to tape or just demos lying around are now going to be AI enhanced and released by the record labels. So here comes Elvis again, and again, and again, and again. Did you know that Spotify, which by the way came from merging spot and identify, Spotify, that's where Spotify, the word, came from. It originated in Sweden in 2006. And from Sweden, it spread through Europe. But didn't make it into the United States until 2011, 5 years later, mostly because you had to have licensing deals with the major record labels, and some of them were holding out and wanting more money to allow their music to be played on Spotify. I remember in class, students complaining that they couldn't get Spotify, although if they were in France, they could. Well, Spotify is sort of doing the same thing again. They're rolling out beta tests of music videos to now 97 countries, except for the United States and Canada, allowing premium subscribers to watch a limited catalog of videos from artists like Charlie XCX and Doja Cat and all of them. As I mentioned in an earlier video, it looks like the social media companies and the streaming platforms are trying very hard to keep people within their specific ecosystems. If you remember, the idea of releasing a whole song on TikTok wasn't really happening until recently. Artists were allowed to put a teaser of a new song, but you had to jump to Spotify to hear the complete song. And if your song was in Spotify, you would have to jump to YouTube to watch the video that accompanied the song. So Spotify now is trying to say, again, hey, we're making it where you can see the videos here. You don't have to go to YouTube. Music videos are a powerful way to build connections between artists and fans. In fact, users who discover a song and then watch the music video on Spotify are 34% more likely to stream the song again the following week on Spotify. And on average, songs discovered with music videos are 24% more likely to be saved or shared and the following week by those who watched. So keeping everybody in their particular ecosystems means they're watching it only in their ecosystem, which means more ads, more money, on and on and on. So even though they haven't announced the availability in the United States, very much like when it first came out and was available only in Europe, while they work out the kinks and probably even more so the licensing deals with the record labels, because there's a copyright thing about the music being played and any videos, who owns the videos, all that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty sure that you will be able to start watching music videos in Spotify so that you don't have to jump around. And now for Jonesy's cat shit crazy pick. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, cassettes are making a comeback. And so is cassette recording technology. Here is the new strap-on remote recording device that goes straight to cassette rather than direct to disk. It's ready for instant duplication and distribution if you can find a cassette player to play the cassettes on. But forget digital. If it sounds bad, you can use AI like the Beatles did to clean it up, to enhance it. And with this kind of remote recording device, think about it, you could just walk around and get a 360 recording just by walking around. Actually, this was from a concert in the 1980s in Poland. I don't know what the concert was. So if you see one, you should buy it before the hipsters do. Or if you're a hipster, you might want to start looking for these boom boxes that allow you to record to cassette. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, do all those things.